The four-day visit of Britain's King Charles to the US is now underway. On Monday, the monarch and Queen Camilla met the US President and First Lady for tea at the White House before heading to the British ambassador's Washington residence for a garden party. King Charles is due to address a joint session of Congress later today. His speech happening at a delicate time for the bilateral relationship, with Trump frustrated over London's refusal to help the US with the conflict in Iran. Joining me now is Philip Turl, our International Affairs Editor. Philip, what indeed are we expecting from the King's speech tonight?
Well, first of all, this speech is not written by King Charles. This speech is written by the British government, but it's the language and the tone basically comes from King Charles, who will add bits and pieces here and there, but the message being transmitted in that speech is one which is dictated to him by the British government. And King Charles is also, in a way, walking on eggshells, because he has to say certain things but has to remain out of the political spectrum, because that's not his job. So I think what we're going to see is a message that is going to focus on the challenges facing both nations, the United States and the United Kingdom. It will go back to talk about the long-standing special relationship that the two countries have had together for many decades, especially since the end of the Second World War. That phrase, special relationship, first coined by Winston Churchill in 1946. And also, I think the King will try to promote international security and prosperity, to defend the shared values between the United States and the United Kingdom, all of this being very common ground that I think both leaders will agree upon. But I think there will also be references to the war in Ukraine, to what is going on in the Middle East, also the situation concerning NATO as well. And probably the King will touch, if not in this speech, but at some point during this visit, on global warming, which is something that he holds very close to his heart, which has more or less been dismissed by Donald Trump. I think the feeling in the United Kingdom is that Donald Trump adores the royal family. Donald Trump is ever so pleased that King Charles has come to Washington for this state visit. And if there's one person he's likely to want to listen to, then that is King Charles. And that is a way of them passing this message through this speech to Donald Trump, in the hopes that he will take it on board, and that might actually shift his perspective on one or two issues.
Now, having covered a number of royal tours, it's very rare to have any press conferences as such. And certainly there's no press conferences scheduled for this trip. So really, what are people afraid of?
Well, there's no problem as far as what the King will do, what the King will say, and what the King has been sent to achieve in the United States. There's no problem as far as the agenda is concerned. Today is the big day with the speech before the joint House of Congress, and then there'll be a state dinner at the White House afterwards. Then the King will go to New York tomorrow, and then he's due to go to Virginia to visit a natural park. All of this has been worked out. It's all choreographed down to almost the second. What I think is more unstable in all of this is what Donald Trump could say, or how Donald Trump might react. And I think that is what both the Americans and the British want to avoid. That's why there will be no joint press conference. There is no meeting with the press. The press is not being allowed into the Oval Office to talk to Donald Trump and King Charles. There'll be no questions thrown that could be disconcerting for one or the other. And I think also what the British want to avoid is Donald Trump himself saying things that could upset the monarch, referring to the former Prince Andrew, for example, and what has happened to him being stripped of his titles. That seems fairly unlikely because it's connected to the Epstein files, but there could be remarks about, for example, Princess Diana. There could be remarks about what has been going on in the royal family, about Prince Harry. So I think what the royal family want to avoid, and the British government wants to avoid, is any remarks that Donald Trump might say which could be badly received by the King. So that is why this is being so carefully orchestrated and so carefully kept under wraps before any of these events really begin to take place.
Philip Turl, thank you so much.